The question of who truly governs our world leads us down a labyrinth of power, where official narratives often obscure a more complex and self-serving reality. This exploration reveals that while nation-states, particularly the United States, project immense influence, real authority increasingly resides in a confluence of elite interests, financial institutions, and multinational corporations. The journey begins with a stark historical parallel, contrasting two pivotal events separated by decades but linked by a pattern of interventionist policy. The first, in 1973, saw a foreign-backed coup overthrow a democratic government in Chile, installing a brutal dictatorship as part of a broader campaign to suppress political movements deemed threatening to a superpower's hemispheric dominance. The second, the terrorist attacks of 2001, triggered a global war on terror, a response that some analysts argue strategically played into the hands of the perpetrators. These two moments expose a profound contradiction in how power is exercised, demonstrating that principles like democracy and human rights are often secondary to strategic convenience, wielded or abandoned based on the needs of the moment. This selective application of principles extends to the very language used to describe global affairs. When media and political elites speak of the world supporting a particular action, they typically refer to a narrow slice of geopolitical opinion, not the genuine sentiments of the global population. This rhetorical framing serves to legitimize actions that may lack broad international consent. The labeling of violence further illustrates this manipulation. Acts committed by non-state actors are swiftly condemned as terrorism, while similar or vastly more destructive operations conducted by powerful states are described with sanitized language like campaigns or operations, their devastating human costs relegated to collateral damage. This linguistic double standard absolves state actors of the moral and legal culpability they readily assign to their adversaries, allowing them to wage devastating conflicts while maintaining a position of rhetorical righteousness. Beneath the visible machinery of state diplomacy and military action operates a more shadowy engine of influence, the realm of high finance and corporate power. The true masters of mankind, as one classical economist termed them, are today's colossal financial institutions and multinational corporations. Their shadow falls long upon politics, particularly in dominant nations like the United States, where the priorities of Wall Street routinely eclipse the needs of Main Street. Following the 2008 financial crisis, for instance, the political response, shaped by immense financial lobbying, focused on bailing out institutions and managing deficits rather than directly addressing public desperation over unemployment. This alignment is no accident. It is the result of a decades-long shift where skyrocketing election costs have made politicians dependent on wealthy donors, and an ideology of deregulation has concentrated unprecedented wealth in the hands of a tiny elite. Internal documents from banks like Citigroup coolly analyze this reality, dividing the world into a wealthy plutonomy and a vast precariat, and advising investment strategies that benefit from this very inequality. If economic rights are being steadily hollowed out, what of our foundational civil liberties? The Magna Carta established the revolutionary idea that power is subject to law, a concept that evolved to include protections against arbitrary imprisonment and, crucially, the right of common people to use shared resources for sustenance. These commons were vital to economic independence. Today, that aspect of our heritage is under relentless assault through privatization, as public goods are enclosed and monetised for corporate profit. The enduring struggle, therefore, is not merely about identifying who holds power but about reclaiming the rights and resources that form the bedrock of genuine autonomy. The global architecture of control is sophisticated and entrenched, built upon manipulated narratives, economic coercion, and the steady erosion of communal wealth. Understanding this architecture is the essential first step toward challenging it and envisioning a world governed by different, more democratic principles.